Deku loses his mind as he has to give up One for All to another user? Deku's biggest weakness against Shigaraki is threatening to destroy the heroes, and the only solution could be a new 10th user of One for All. And if that's not crazy enough, Star and Stripe is back from the dead, and so is her epic quirk, New Order. The twist at the end was shocking, so let's get into it. In the previous chapter, we saw that Shigaraki was already using Danger Sense, the quirk he stole from Deku, against Deku in battle. This made it much easier for Shigaraki to dodge and anticipate Deku's attacks, and to make things worse, Deku's gear shift is apparently wearing off. Although, to be honest, it's been wearing off for like 10 chapters or something. On the bright side, when Shigaraki stole Danger Sense, he did not steal all the power that All For One had accumulated within itself over the course of 9 generations. So even though Deku can't use Danger Sense anymore, at least he isn't actually physically weaker than he used to be. The other key point that the previous chapter established is that Awakened Shigaraki is a far more dangerous villain than even All For One himself. Shigaraki literally just wants to destroy all of Japan. He doesn't want to rule Japan, he doesn't want to lead an underworld empire, he just wants to literally annihilate the entire country, starting with the iconic volcanic mountain, Mount Fuji. The chapter ended with Shigaraki initiating decay on the ground and moving it towards Mount Fuji in order to trigger a massive volcanic eruption. What happens next is absolutely crazy, but first a quick word from our sponsor.
Okay, picture this. What if a legendary RPG game has sponsored this video? And you get to hear all about its huge collection of over 700 unique champions, a super awesome RPG battle system, amazing graphics, and an intense combination of PvE and PvP content. Well, lucky for you, this video is sponsored by that game, so let me tell you more about Raid Shadow Legends. Right now, the worlds of Raid Shadow Legends and Monster Hunter are colliding in an awesome but limited time crossover. From January 9th, 2024 to March 5th, players will be able to collect 5 Monster Hunter themed legendary champions based on iconic monsters from Capcom's action RPG franchise. These 5 champions are based on iconic Monster Hunter monsters including Rathalos, Zenogre, Ruiner, Nergigante, Elatrion, and the very badass looking Fatalis. Everyone will be able to get Rathalos Blade Master Legendary Champion for free simply by logging into Raid for 7 days between now and February 27th, while the other 4 will be available through in-game events. There will also be themed community events and other special events, so this is definitely one crossover you don't want to miss. I've personally been playing Raid for years now, and I love the unique champions, the team building, and attack graphics, especially ones that attack all the enemies at the same time. I strongly recommend it, so don't delay and download Raid now using my link in the description to start working towards getting your free Rathalos Blade Master champion and join the hunt today. And even though the holiday season is over, the excitement in Raid Shadow Legends continues. The Cursed City is one of Raid's biggest features since the Doom Tower, with 100 stages to complete and even ones where you need to take down 2 raid bosses at the same time. By working your way through it, you can even get your hands on a mythical champion. And there's still time to use promo code RAIDXmas before the end of January to score exclusive in-game prizes. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description or scan the QR code now, and new players will even get this starter pack with an epic champion Drake for absolutely free.
The latest chapter picks up as Deku is fighting to stop Shigaraki's decay from spreading to Mount Fuji. Deku is using maximum Fa-Jin plus the wind pressure technique plus Delaware Smash to essentially blow the ground away from Shigaraki's decay, which stops it from spreading further. Shigaraki acknowledges that this is a very clever tactic, but it's just a temporary delay. All Shigaraki has to do is touch the ground over and over again, and eventually Deku will not be able to stop it and the growth of the decay will continue. But as Shigaraki tries to attack the ground, Deku uses Smokescreen combined with Gear Shift's low gear to spread a bunch of smoke around the battlefield and make it last longer than usual. Then, as Shigaraki enters the smoke cloud, Deku uses a bunch of his Black Whip tentacles to confuse and overwhelm Shigaraki's Danger Sense, and this allows Deku to sneak up on Shigaraki and deliver a devastating blow that takes Shigaraki's entire right arm off. Now of course, Shigaraki has super regeneration, but the hit looked cool at least. Deku is using the intimate knowledge he has about Danger Sense to exploit its vulnerabilities, including the fact that it can sometimes be very unreliable. That is very clever and interesting, but Danger Sense is not the only trick Shigaraki has up his sleeve. Shigaraki still has the quirk Search, a quirk that All For One had stolen from Ragdoll all those chapters ago. And this quirk allows him to determine the location and weaknesses of up to 100 people at a time, including of course Deku. Shigaraki uses Search to find Deku in the smoke and attack him with Rivet Stab. As Shigaraki's attack seems to land some blows on Deku, the hero looks absolutely exhausted. He looks like he is about to pass out. and Banjo points out that gear shift is ending, and so Deku is about to suffer the consequences of the recoil. Even Shigaraki is noticing that Deku seems to be at the end of his rope. He had been reinforcing his tendons and muscles from the inside. He was trying everything he can to keep fighting, but even though the attacks he was able to deliver were powerful, it is clear that Deku can't keep this up for long. Shigaraki is confident that Deku is about to fall before his might. There is just no way that Deku can prevail after already exhausting so much of his reserves. But the stubborn maniac that is Deku absolutely refuses to give up. And craziest of all, he refuses to give up on that crying boy, referring to little Tenko Shimura, the boy who eventually turned into the villain, Tomura Shigaraki. As the entire world watches the battle on their TVs, Shigaraki tries to show Deku that it's hopeless. Little Tenko inside Shigaraki is no longer the same boy that he once was. According to Shigaraki, that little boy stopped crying a long time ago. He changed the lens through which he saw the world, and he willingly turned into Tomura Shigaraki. Little Tenko is no longer a victim. He is no longer crying and suffering. He is now none other than Tomura Shigaraki. As he says this, Shigaraki shows us some sort of dark sphere made of urban decay that is supposed to portray his inner state of mind at this moment. It looks like something out of Inception. However, knowing Horikoshi, someday we will get to see that sphere burst apart, and deep on the inside we will find little Tenko Shimura once again. Like it or hate it, you know he's gonna go there. Deku still refuses to accept what the villain is saying, and he vows that he still wants to save that boy. At this point, Tenko's own grandma, Nana Shimura, feels like she has to intervene. So her vestige appears before Deku and tells him to give up because some people simply can't be saved. It's time to finish Shigaraki right now with a single powerful attack, before he can do even more devastating damage to Japan and the rest of the world. But even though Nana herself is telling Deku to do this, he says no, because it is clear that the prospect of losing her grandson is hurting her deeply even as she says all these things. Deku vows to fight for everyone who had their pain swept under the rug by the failings of the old hero society, and that includes Tenko Shimura. He vows to shred that rug with his own hands. At this point, the second user says that this is why he didn't want to acknowledge Deku at first. He saw the boy as a peace-seeking fool who wanted to save their mortal enemy Shigaraki instead of actually defeating him. After looking into Deku's memories, the second user now knows that Deku will not give up on literally anyone. He didn't give up on Bakugo after all the bullying that Bakugo put him through during their childhood, and he is not gonna give up on anyone else. That is just the kind of person Deku is, for better or worse. And then, in that moment, something shocking happens. As they are looking into Shigaraki's all-for-one vestige world, the vestiges of the second user and All Might see Star and Stripe's hand pointing towards the center of the dark sphere that Shigaraki had shown them earlier. He says, "We are betting on you, Ninth. You have to let go of One for All." Wait, what? What does this mean? Is the second's vestige saying that Deku has to transfer One for All to a 10th user? Someone who will actually be willing to kill Shigaraki in order to save the rest of the world? Or is the vestige saying that Deku has to allow Shigaraki to steal One for All from him, because then the vestiges within One for All will be able to work together with Star and Stripe inside of Shigaraki's all-for-one vestige world in order to potentially awaken the little Tenko Shimura within him and bring the villain down from the inside? Why did we see the hand of Star and Stripe, who is supposed to be dead? Is part of her still inside Shigaraki's all-for-one vestige world and waiting to bring him down with the help of the One for All vestiges? Let me know down below. The next chapter will hopefully bring us a lot more information about what that ending means, but in my personal opinion, this means that the One for All vestiges will try to destroy Shigaraki from the inside. They will let Shigaraki try to steal One for All, and when he does that, the vestiges will meet up with the vestige of Star and Stripe within Shigaraki's all-for-one vestige world, and then they will begin an internal rebellion against him. They will attempt to break apart that dark sphere and pull little Tenko out from within. They will all try to save Tenko together while defeating the villain known as Tomura Shigaraki at the same time. But if this outcome requires Deku to give up One for All so that Shigaraki can steal it, then does that mean that the climax of the final battle will be an internal struggle between the vestiges? I think there has to be an epic internal battle between the Vestiges and an epic external battle between Deku and Shigaraki in the real world. I definitely want to see Star and Stripe and New Order in action once again, but at the end of the day, there will have to be some sort of external fight that is going on in the physical world. Like, there's no way Deku is going to sit out the final battle while the Vestiges fight for him, so it will have to be some sort of mixed internal and external struggle. At least that's my opinion. Now, how is Deku going to fight if he has to give up One for All? I don't know, but if you have some thoughts, let me know down in the comments. Will Deku end up quirkless again? Will he give up like a part of One for All but keep another part? Will someone else step in to fight Shigaraki in the physical world for Deku? Let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more MHA content in the future, leave a quick like and comment right now for that YouTube algorithm. And if you want to help this channel reach 2 million subscribers on YouTube, please do me a big favor and subscribe right now. We are less than 5K away. Thanks again to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring this video. Check them out right now, link in the description.